Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Kimberly. I'm a recovering drug addict, specifically heroin. That was my drug of choice. I live in Africa in a country called Kenya. I have been in recovery now for almost 2 years. I do take methadone, which is medically assisted treatment. I know there's a huge argument going on in the world amongst people in my field about whether or not being under methadone is truly abstinence. I believe it is truly abstinence because it is a prescribed drug and not a street drug, and I'm not abusing it. I am using it under doctor's orders. I have decided to restart this channel because I've just thought maybe I need to change the content. Maybe I need to be more focused and more specific on recovery and addiction and what this field is all about. I'm also studying to be an addiction counselor, so I am about to graduate. This is the year 2024, and I hope I graduate at the end of this year. Today being the first video, I thought maybe we can just discuss, or maybe I could just inform about what addiction is and what it means to be an addict in Africa, especially here in my country, Kenya. What is addiction? Addiction is, many people argue, but I believe, and it is scientifically been proven, that addiction is genetic. It has, let's say, in my opinion, it has two factors. It has the genetic factor and the environmental factor. These two factors don't need to be both present, nor do they need to be independently, how can I explain? They don't need to both be present for a person to be an addict. It doesn't mean that because one or both are present, the person will turn out to be an addict. That's what I meant to say. Meaning, you could come from a family of alcoholics, and you probably might have what we call the X factor gene, the alcoholic gene, but it doesn't mean that you will be an alcoholic. You could live your life very normally and without the use of drugs or alcohol, and live a very fulfilled life without the urge or the need to use alcohol in an abusive way, or drugs for that matter. Also, you could not have the gene, but be raised in an environment where the factors that are included in that environment will push you into addiction. For example, you could be born without the X factor gene, but raised in an environment of drug users, an abusive environment where there's physical, emotional, and psychological abuse, even verbal, all types of abuses from a young age, and no coping mechanisms. So you'll find most people who are born in such environments turn out to be addicts. For example, in my country, Kenya, because we're a third world country with a lot of socioeconomic problems, a lot of the times addicts are created by the environment. Because of the extreme poverty in my country, the lack of opportunities, and the lack of education, you'll find many children are raised in homes where there is no stability, there's no financial stability, there's no emotional stability, there's a lot of trauma that these children go through, and then there's no coping mechanisms offered by our government that really can remove these children from these environments and rehabilitate them into sober, abstinent adults. So addiction in my country is rising at an astronomical rate, as in most countries around the world, and I'm happy that I live in a time where mental health is an issue and is being discussed, and addiction is part of the mental health issue. It is considered a mental health problem. It is a disease, and so living in this time, living in this now, has even given me the opportunity to be able to express myself and to express my journey, whereby I assume a few years ago, maybe in the 80s or the 70s or whatever, in this country, even a woman being an addict was looked at with a lot of stigma, a lot of discrimination. It wouldn't even have been a topic because nobody would be discussing it. It would be such taboo. So I have to appreciate my country for the milestones and the leaps it's taken. We're gonna get there one day, but we are very close to getting there because at least we're in the stage of realizing that this is an issue. It is affecting every single person, women and men alike, and we need to now think about the solutions. So I'm very glad to be in my country at this current time and this current atmosphere. So I'm digressing. Let me finish the video by just starting off by giving a brief explanation on what addiction is. Addiction is a disease. It involves a lack of control. Addiction, you can be addicted to a number of things, from drugs, alcohol, to food, to sex. Addiction usually develops in the late teens and early 20s. Addiction is characterized by a loss of control, impulsive and uncontrollable urges, and compulsive use of the drug or the thing that you are addicted to, maybe gambling. We're going to specify here on this channel drugs and alcohol. So when it comes to the addiction of drugs and alcohol, it is characterized by loss of control, as we previously stated, compulsive use and urge, sometimes even loss of insight. You lose reality, where your whole reality is your reality is based on the drug and getting money to use the drug, using the drug, recovering from the use of that drug, and so on and so forth. A person who's addicted, physically their health is diminished, maybe loss of weight. For alcoholics, though, you may think somebody looks healthy because there's a disease called Wernicke-Korsakoff syndrome, and one of the symptoms is a swollen face and lips and stuff like that. So you may think somebody looks chubby, but they're not. That is a sign of liver disease. Physically also, no showering, very unkempt, lack of grooming, even smelly. Also, the individual loses interest in the responsibilities, the habits and hobbies they used to partake in before. They've lost interest. They cannot be responsible. Maybe if they have a job, or maybe they're a parent, or whatever their responsibilities are in life, they're unable. Their life becomes completely unmanageable. They do not have, they're always needing money, because money is what purchases their drug of choice. They're really just in a very terrible state. So a lot of the times we see that in our families, in our communities, in our society, but it has always been looked at as a choice. You know, like, this person just chooses to let go. They just want to be, they don't want to be responsible. They don't want to work hard. They do not want to try. You know, they're just losers. They've given up on life. That has always been the outlook. But recently, through scientifically evidence-based investigations and evidences, it has been found that it is not a choice. That person is suffering from a disease, and they need to be looked at with more empathy, and structures, interventions, and solutions need to be put in place to allow that person to recover in a healthy and supportive environment. And that is why I thank so much the government of Kenya and its partners. I have been able to recover successfully for 2 years now. They brought for us medically assisted treatment, which is the methadone, and I thank God for that, because before, trying to treat yourself or recover from heroin addiction can be very difficult. So I thank God that my country gave us options, and one of the options that has worked for me is the medically assisted treatment. And yeah, so that's the beginning of this channel, and I thank you, whoever is watching this. Stay tuned in. I'll try and make more videos. I'll try and make my videos much better. I'll try and, yeah, your feedback means everything to me, so put a comment below on what I should do, what I shouldn't do. And kindly, if you feel like the content or what I've said, these are topics or subjects that interest you, kindly subscribe. It will help me a lot. Yes, and I wish you a good day to whoever is watching this. And there's hope, there's hope, there's hope. If you have a loved one, or you're concerned about somebody, there is hope. Change is very possible. We just need to make sure the tools for change are available to the individual, and after that it's their choice. So thank you, have a great day, God bless you, and remember, take it a day at a time. If you're a recovering person is watching this, and if you're somebody who's in drug addiction, hopefully you will learn here that you can change, and hopefully I can provide you the tools to change and have a better, and I don't know. All right, thank you, bye.